Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this proceeding?
Thank you. Please sit down. And ipaliwanag nyo lang kung bakit kayo naanditong dalawa. Kayo na yung magkwento. Sige.
Good afternoon po.
But we have their real names. Nandiyan naman sa invitation. Thank you.
Okay, so we are working for our boss, Rico Ocampo, who was the previous tenant of 30 Tamarind at Forbes Park.
30 Tamarind South Forbes.
South Forbes,
Yeah.
sir.
Kayo yung mga staff ni Mr. Rico Ocampo.
Kami po, yes po, office staff po ni
Yeah.
Sir.
Na siya yung tenant doon sa bahay na naibenta noong April 2023. Go ahead.
That is
Continue.
correct, Your Honor. And then during that time, January 29, we were CC'd sa email sa boss namin that we are being evicted January 31 at 3 p.m. Dapat nakalabas na kami ng place. Unfortunately, sa sobrang dami po ng gamit, we weren't able to comply with their deadline. So we have asked TJ Conti, who is the broker from Turnkey Properties. Nakipag-coordinate po kami to have an extension. And we were given until February 3, I think. To that was already 2024 po.
And eventually you were evicted. And who informed you that you were being evicted?
We were informed by our boss po. It was parang email po ng law firm. And then sinisi po kami ng boss namin for us to be aware that we have to leave the place by January 31, 2024 at 3 p.m.
Yeah, I was able to talk to your boss, si Mr. Rico Ocampo. And he made mention na meron kayong nakaharap nung you were forcibly being pushed out of the residence. Nabanggit niya si Carla Discaya. Would you confirm that?
That was February 1 po.
Yeah.
TJ Conti, he introduced us to the contractor, but he didn't mention the name.
Yeah. But how did you know that that contractor being referred to by TJ Conti is actually Mr. Discaya?
Well, actually, sir, we already mentioned to our boss nung lumabas yung mukha po ni Mr. Discaya. Nasabi ko, kamukha
Saan lumabas ang
sa
mukha?
TV po, when the flood control project is being brought up. No?
During the hearings.
Yes, during the hearing.
Okay,
so sabi
so-
ko sa boss ko, sorry
Yeah.
about that. Sabi ko po sa boss ko tsaka sa colleague ko, tingnan nyo nga, ma'am, tingnan mo pong maigi itong mukha na to. Hindi ba ito yung contractor na pinakilala sa atin ni TJ Conti? And then we both agreed na siya nga.
And he was physically there.
He was physically there.
How long did you talk to Mr. Discaya?
It's less than 5 minutes po, pero kasi natandaan namin siya because he was the one manning the people na sinabihan pa na tulungan kami para mapabilis yung pag-move out namin.
Kindly narrate the conversation that took place between you and Mr. Discaya at that point in time.
Okay. During February 1 po, it was just a short introduction by TJ Conti. He mentioned that he is the contractor. And then February 2, medyo nagtagal po kasi nakiusap na nga kami na we really cannot matanggal lahat ng mga gamit dahil sa sobrang dami. And he also mentioned to us na contractor ako dito eh. Meron din kaming deadline. And then we both asked, baka pwede po namin pakiusapan yung may-ari, yung bagong nakabili ng bahay. And then he also mentioned that si Romualdez ang nakabili. And then after po nun,
That's according to Mr. Discaya.
that is according
Okay.
to the contractors.
Now, nandito tayo ngayon sa pagdinig, kung makikita nyo personal, si Carla Discaya, makikilala nyo?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pakituro nyo nga kung naandito siya sa loob ng session hall. Lapitan nyo na lang kung sino dyan sa among the resource speakers, resource persons. Hindi, lapitan mo na lang at hawakan mo na lang sa balikat, hindi magagalit yan.
Your Honor,
Excuse
pwede
me,
po bang...
you will be recognized later.
Okay.
No? Tuloy lang natin tong proceeding muna. Sige, miss. Pareho kayo na ina-identify nyo na siya mismo yung kaharap ninyo na sinasabing ang may-ari ng bahay, si Speaker Romualdez, at kailangang umalis na kayo? Kindly answer, use the microphone.
Tama po, Your Honor.
Tama po, sir.
So maski ngayon, sa susunod na panahon, sa ibang pagkakataon, ganyan pa rin ang inyong magiging statement.
Correct, Your Honor.
O ngayon, Curly, it's your turn.
Your Honor, okay lang po ba tanggalin nila yung face mask nila? Kasi sa totoo lang po, talagang hindi ko sila naaalala kahit sa panaginip ko na, naginip
It's
ako
not
ng
for you to
bangungot.
identify them, it's for them to identify you. No?
Your Honor, wala po kasi akong maalalang transaction
Well,
at saka
that's your
nakapas.
option to deny. What we're establishing here is the fact that there are two witnesses present here under oath na sinasabing nagpunta ka doon at nine-name drop mo, totoo man o hindi, si Speaker Romualdez na siya nagmamay-ari, bagong may-ari noong number 30 Tamarin Street sa South Forbes. Yun lang naman eh. It's not for you to be able to, hindi naman ikaw ang witness against them eh. I don't know if I'm correct. Secretary Bida, kindly help me out, or Dong, PG Dong. Tama ba yon? Wala siyang karapatan na i-identify yung nagturo sa kanya?
Opo. Ang right to confrontation ho kasi kung yun ho ang iniisip ni Mr. Diskaya will come at the appropriate time. But for purposes of identification, ang kakailanganin lang po ay yung taong mag-identify dun sa taong kikilalanin.
Thank you, PG Dong. Sige, say your piece.
Your Honor, gusto ko po sanang ma-identify po muna yung dalawang nagtuturo sa akin kasi kahit ni minsan po, hindi pa po ako nakakapasok sa South Forbes Park. Hindi ko pa nga alam kung anong mga uri ng mga bahay meron doon. So, malabong-malabo po talaga at wala po akong inuutusan na kahit sinong broker kasi takot po akong bumili sa mga lugar na yun. Ang kaya ko lang bilhin po ng mga lupa sa lugar lang po ng mga Pasig na hindi ganun kamahal ang presyo ng lupa.
Ikaw naman sasabing bumili ka eh. Hindi naman yan sinasabi, ikaw ang bumili. Anyway, that's it, ano?
Ang sabi, Mr. Chairman, contractor daw. Ikaw daw ang contractor. Yun ang sabi. Hindi sinabi ikaw ang bibili.
Your Honor, hindi po talaga, hindi pa po kami nakakapasok sa South Forbes Park.
Settled na yan.
At isang beses. Opo.
They pointed to you, they identified you, and you are denying. Period.
Mr. Chair, follow-up question.
Yes, Senator Risa.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Miss, yung mas malayo sa akin, may nabanggit kayong law firm na kasama nung pagpapaalis sa inyo at pagpasok ng bagong may-ari. Aling law firm po iyon for the record?
Let me just check po my email, Your Honor.
Tapos pakisabi na lang sa aming komite through the chair para lang mabuo namin yung sinasabi
For that
niyong
matter,
kwento.
kung
Thanks,
alam nyo
Mr.
rin, ang sinasabing si Speaker, pero si Speaker ba ang nasa deed of absolute sale? Kung hindi, sino? Kung alam ninyo.
It's Golden Peasant po.
Golden Peasant Holding Corporation, di ba?
That is.
Na ang major stockholder, isa nangangalang Paras.
Hindi ko lang po sigurado.
Yes.
But for the law firm, it's Ocampo Manalo Valdez Lim.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair. Una, a point of information lang. Nabanggit po kasi kanina na dapat sana fina-flag na ng COA yung mga iniimbestiga ng aming komite na flood control projects, either na ghost or substandard. No, yung sinabi kanina ni Senator Kiko. So, yung point of information dyan ay, in fact, ang COA ay nakapag-flag na ng 4 na proyekto sa Bulacan amounting to a total of 330 million pesos. So baka habang dumadaan ang panahon ay mas marami pang mafa-flag ang COA. So yung mga unang mga tanong ko po, follow-up questions, Mr. Chair, sa DPWH. Kaugnay po yung anong resulta ng audit o investigasyon na ginagawa ng department dun sa mga ghost or defective na flood control projects. So yung mga nabanggit nyo na po kanina, Yusek Bisnar, na isamite na po ito yan sa ICI. Tama po ba?
Your Honor, after po nung technical inspection and assessment, meron pong internal audit within DPWH. Ito naman po more of yung mga documents and payment billings ang titingnan. After nito po, saka po ipapadala sa ICI, Your Honor.
Okay po. So hindi pa po. May time frame po ba kayo para mag-submit sa commission?
We will do it as much as possible because ang figure po na pinag-uusapan is around 292.
292 projects.
Out of the 337, Your Honor.
Opo. And within this month po ba yon or within the first quarter of the year? Ano po yung horizon na tinitignan nyo to submit to ICI?
Within first quarter po.
Within the first quarter.
Your Honor, what we'll do is kung ano po yung matapos,
Yes.
submit na po kami kaagad sa ICI. Hindi na po namin hihintayin matapos po lahat.
Opo.
So we will submit as as IAS is finished.
So pwede pong batch by batch.
Yes, Your
Sunod-sunod.
Honor.
And then sa ombudsman, within the first quarter din po ba kayo magsasubmit or mas maaga or mas late pa doon?
Your Honor, yung ICI po ang magre-refer po sa ombudsman.
Alright, salamat po, Yusek. And ilan po yung dapat maasahan ng publiko? Yung mga nanonood nitong hearing, yung mga nagalit, yung mga umasa, yung mga nagrally, yung mga nagsumbong both sa Senate Blue Ribbon at saka sa executive. Ilan po yung aasahan ng publiko na mga contractor sa private sector at opisyal sa public sector na makakasuhan?
Your Honor, kasi po gaya po nitong 416 na ito na nai-announce pero hindi pa po tapos yung technical inspection and assessment at saka po yung internal audit. Mahirap po magbigay ng number kasi po baka po gano'n naman po, may i-expect na naman po yung public. Pero what we're reassuring po the public and this committee is lahat po ng pwedeng gawin ng department para suportahan po yung effort ng ICI ay ginagawa po namin.
Well, I would agree, Mr. Chair, na parang double-edged sword yung expectation. Kasi baka, lalo na kung magbibigay ng petsa, umasa, baka pag lumampas, mabigo. Pero merong aspetong siguro positibo din yung expectation na mas magiging solid yung pag-asa ng publiko na magbubunga talaga itong aming investigasyon sa Blue Ribbon, magbubunga ang internal investigation ng department, magbubunga ang mga proseso sa ICI at saka sa ombudsman. So siguro naman, tulad ng sinabi nyo, magsasubmit kayo sa ICI in batches of cases. Meron ba kayong sense na ano yung magnitude ng pwedeng i-anticipate man lang ng publiko na makakasuhan? Tens of contractors and officials ba? Dose-dosena ba? Aabot ba sa 100? Ano yung sense po ng department as of now?
Your Honor, yung capability po ng internal audit service ng DPWH will be maximized po para po to look into this 416 projects. In fact po, meron pong effort na hire nga po ng additional accountants and even engineers for yung quality assurance unit.
And auditors po?
Opo, auditors and accountants. Para po mas mapabilis po itong process natin.
And sa ngayon po, sa mga proyektong at least na kompleto nyo na yung internal audit, ilan na ang maaasahan ng publiko na either na posibleng makasuhan bunga nitong internal audit at investigasyon ng department?
I cannot give an exact figure, Your Honor.
The range
But we will submit a report on this matter para po mas accurate po yung maibigay namin na data.
magsasubmit po kayo sa aming komite.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mga kailan po matatanggap ng aming chair
within the week.
yung report ng department?
Within the month, Your Honor.
Within this month. Okay.
Yes.
Salamat po, Yusek. Tapos, follow up sa ilang naunang interpelasyon na. Itong pinag-usapan at iniintindi naming coordinates, magkakaibang klaseng mga coordinates. Anong epekto ng balitang hindi tama ang coordinates na ginamit sa pagtunto ng mga posibleng ghost at saka substandard projects? Ano yung naramdaman ng department na epekto ng ganon?
Una po, dahil po mali yung location coordinates na ibinigay at ginamit ng mga nag-validate. Siyempre po, ang effect po noon is na-mislead po sila into the wrong locations. And even po yung report na isinubmit nila is basically mali rin po kasi mali na kagad yung location coordinates na pinagbasihan po nila ng inspection po nila. So, ang effect po nito is basically po, we will restart all over. Kung natapos na po natin yung 1/3 ng 30,000 flood control projects in the last 10 years, and then i-reassess naman po natin to. Just to be sure po na with our data.
So dahil po na mislead, Mr. Chair, so it did a disservice, hindi lang sa paghanap ng komiteng ito at ng ibang investigating bodies ng katotohanan, pero on top of, in effect, nanakaw yung buwis ng publiko, lalong binaha nung bumagyo, dagdag pang naloko, at least para malaman ang postmortem, kung ano yung totoong kwento. Dahil mali yung mga naging report, parang lalo pang natamaan yung reputation ng department or ng executive as a whole, ng gobyerno as a whole. And at dahil kailangan nyo palang i-restart ulit yung 1/3 nyo nang natapos na out of the 3,000 projects na pag-audit, pag-imbestiga, significant po yun, no? 1/3 already. Uulitin nyo pati iyon, bukod sa 2/3 na hindi pa nasimulan. So, parang nasayang din, no? Yung effort, yung energy, yung resources ng department, Mr. Chair.
Tama po kayo, Your Honor.
Okay, so hindi po maliit na damage, no? All around. Nung iniimbestiga na lahat ito last year ng iba't ibang bodies, nasa DPWH naman na yung mga MIPS na start, intermediate, and pati po yung infratrack, di po ba, Yusek?
Lahat po yun ay nasa DPWH, Your Honor.
Opo. So, bakit di yun yung ginamit ng department sa unang validation pa lang? Parang ngayon lang lahat ito nalalaman.
Sige.
Yes,
Madam
Mr. Chair,
Chair.
Yusek Bernabe.
Yes, ma'am. Because I think nung initially po, nagbuo nga po ng team itong ICI, composed of the AFP, PNP, and DepDev. And they relied on the coordinates dun po sa sumbong sa Pangulo. So they followed that sumbong sa Pangulo coordinates, which is the MIPS coordinates.
I see. So
Opo.
pati yung AFP at PNP na mislead sa simula. Pati sila na mali sa report dahil dito.
Yun po yung kanilang pinuntahan po, yung MIPS
Yes.
coordinates po. Bale po, the DPWH is also coordinating with ICI to give technical support. Pero po ito pong 421 talaga ay sa ICI po ito na task.
And pati po yung AFP at PNP, dagdag sa marami na nilang trabaho, kailangan nilang sumama ulit sa DPWH, ulitin yung pag-audit, investigate sa mga 1/3 of the total number of projects.
Possibly po.
Possibly. So pati po sila nabanatan. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chairman,
Senator
just one quick
Pangilinan.
interjection. During the hearing of the Committee on Justice of the Senate, the ICI, the chairperson, as well as secretaries, Babes, mentioned that there were 400 plus ghost projects. So you're saying that the ICI was also misled based on the wrong information?
Mr. Chair, yun po. The coordinates they used was the MIPS. So that now we have to revalidate using also the coordinates of the InfraTrack to ensure that indeed if it is ghost or it is in a different location, Mr. Chair.
Which black eye ang nangyari pati sa ICI bilang investigative body dahil mali ang mga coordinates na ginamit at sinasabing 400 ang ghost project na muka hindi pala tama at ngayon muli ninyong binubusisi.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Salamat, Senator Kiko. So talagang, and of course, kung ganyang karami o lahat halos ng mga investigating bodies ay minimislead, malamang ibig sabihin may pinagtatakpan talaga, no? Sa buong proseso nito. I really, Mr. Chair, I really can't help feeling na may hindi nag-a-add up. Kaya katulad ni Senator Kiko, yung ni-raise niyang intervention in the earlier round, sang-ayon talaga ako na dapat bahagi ng usaping ito yung pagtingin di lang sa ghost projects, pati sa mga substandard na projects na dun may corruption din na probably nangyari. So, follow-up ko naman po sa Department of Justice. So, will it, Yusek Mark, okay. So, I'll continue to ask the questions of the department kay ating Prosecutor General Fadulion. Ano naman pong epekto nitong issue din, yung sa coordinates, sa mga kasong isasampa dun sa mga suspected na corrupt?
Well, sa ngayon po, Mr. Chair, as far as the cases that we have already and we are conducting investigations, hindi naman po siya maapektuhan, no? Pero in a way, it would have made things a bit faster. Kasi ang mangyayari ho niyan, ito hong mga cases na inimbestigahan ng department is the product of the work of law enforcement pertaining to the NBI. So sila po yung talagang pumunta dun sa site at chinek at binalidate isa-isa kung talaga pong ghost projects ito o hindi. But I guess with the data and information coming from the DPWH, which would be more accurate, then it would facilitate and make the investigations and the gathering of evidence faster. Pero sa ngayon po naman, based on the cases that were referred to us by the NBI, gumagalaw siya kasi hindi naman po siya dependent doon sa data na nakala po doon, yung binabanggit po ngayon ng DPWH.
Okay. So, para hindi rin ma-mislead pati yung NBI, and yung kasasabi nyo lang po, PG Fadulion, assurance na may bahaging investigasyon led by the DOJ na hindi mamimislead nitong mga corrections na kailangan nating gawin sa mga datos na basehan ng mas technical siguro na investigasyon at auditing na pinamumunuan naman ng DPWH.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Madam Senator. Kasi po ang mangyayari ngayon yan is yung binabanggit nga po ng DPWH, the submissions that they have of whatever data they gather is brought to the ICI. And then any investigation that the ICI sees is needed or may be conducted is referred to the Office of the Ombudsman. The Department of Justice po, gumagalaw po siya ng sarili niya. In coordination, we still coordinate with the ICI and with the Office of the Ombudsman. Pero ito po mga kaso na ginagawa po natin at iniimbestigahan po natin ay batay po sa pagsusuri na ginagawa ng NBI upon the directive of the DOJ po.
So in a way po, dalawang parallel
Yes.
na fact-finding or investigation or auditing.
Opo, at dagdag ko na lang po na syempre kung ano po yung naimbestigahan namin since kino-coordinate namin sa ICI at sa DPWH, nakakabawas na po yun dun sa datos na kailangan pa nating ituring na ghost projects kasi at least ito po ay may mga kaso na pong gumagalaw.
Okay, salamat po, PG Fadulion. Again, that's reassuring para marinig ng ating publiko na kahit minsan parang one step backward or may pag-uulit, may pag-retrace ng steps na kailangan mangyari, meron din namang 1 or 2 steps forward. And yung pong timetable ng NBI at saka ng DOJ ba, medyo kapacing nung sa DPWH, ICI, Ombudsman na within some makukumpleto na by the end of this month, or some or most or all within the first quarter? Meron na rin po ba kayong parang first batch na mga cases na medyo mahihinog na at magbubunga na ng some kind of resolution para sa ating publiko?
Mr. Chair, for the information of the body, as mentioned by the Secretary po, we already referred 2 cases to the Office of the Ombudsman which have been filed with the Sandigan Bayan. These are 2 cases for malversation of public funds. And there are 3 cases. This also involves yung ghost projects, no, involving yung Sims Construction in Bulacan. These 3 cases are also due for resolution. The resolution will be out anytime within the week po.